It's Been So Long, an Adrienette fanfic. Part 1. You're kidding me, right? Alia cried. You have got to be kidding me. Marinette and Alia were sitting on the bed crying. It's only a year, Marinette said, her voice breaking. No, it's too long, Alia sobbed. It was the last week they had with one another for the next year. Marinette had won a design contest and was to live in New York for a year. She would have the chance to take top design classes and work with some of the best designers in America. The only downside was that she would be leaving her friends and family, and that made her beyond sad. Of course, everyone was happy to see her start to achieve her dream. They just wished it was a bit closer to home. The only person left to tell was her partner Chat Noir. That may be the hardest goodbye, which was why it was last, but it had to be done. 2 days until Marinette had to leave. She had to do it. She had to tell Chat. They had just finished an Akuma fight. Chat, she called. He turned and smiled at her. Meet me at the roof of the Notre Dame at 7. We need to talk, she said. Of course, Bugaboo, he said, and they both hurried away. Marinette swung down into her bedroom and detransformed. I'm not ready for this, she told Tiki, who had begun eating a cookie. I know. Marinette gathered the gift she had made for Chat Noir. It was a red hat that had a ladybug and cat sewn into the front and some macaroons. It was 6:45, so it was time to go. Let's rip off this band-aid, she muttered. Tiki, spots on! Grabbing her yo-yo, Ladybug quickly arrived at the roof. Hello, my lady, said a dark figure in the night. Hey, Chat. Sit down, please. He did it as he was told, sitting down next to Ladybug and watching the sunset. So, what do you want to talk about? He asked cheerfully. His hopes were that she had finally fallen for him, and they could be together forever. And then we'll get a hamster, he thought. Well, I don't know how else to say this, but I'm leaving, she said in a soft voice. Chat's heart broke. What? Had he heard her correctly? I'm leaving for a year. I'm going to something I can't pass up. Chat felt his eyes water. This is a box Master Fu gave me. You can store the Akumas here and it will be transferred to a box I have so I can purify it. And here's a ribbon. Cut a piece of it and it cleans everything up like my Miraculous Ladybug. Chat noticed Ladybug was crying too. I'm gonna miss you like insanity, she said, hugging him before he could register it. Me too, he said, wrapping his arms around her. They stayed like that for a few minutes. He removed his arms when he felt her do the same. Ladybug swiped at her eyes. A gift for being the best partner ever. I promise I'll be back. She handed him a box. I'll be waiting, Chat Noir whispered. Ladybug sent him a sad smile before disappearing into the night. Chat stood on the roof, not sure how he could go on for a year without the lady of his dreams. Soon he went home and cried. He was going to miss his lady so much. He thought about her words. They were odd. Miss you like insanity? Oh well, he'd miss her so much he may become insane. Marinette grabbed her sunglasses from the car. Her parents gave her one last hug. We love you, sweetie, her mom said. I love you guys too, she replied. She had been crying endlessly for the past 2 days. She cried when she got home from telling the news to Chat. She cried at school when everyone gave her a farewell present. She was crying now at the airport with her parents and friends. Girl, text me every night and call every week. Please, Alia said, hugging her best friend tight. I will, Marinette said. Goodbye, Marinette. School's gonna be way less awesome without you, Nino said, giving her a quick hug. Marinette gave a short laugh. Leave it up to Nino to make the world a little less sad. Bye, Marinette. I hope the year will go by fast and we can all be a group again soon, Adrienne said, giving a hug. Marinette almost fainted. Adrienne was hugging her. Yes, she was leaving, but at least she had the warmth of his body over hers for a few seconds. She gave a last farewell to the 5 most important people in her life. Well, 6, but Shat couldn't have made it without Marinette revealing herself. Marinette turned around and boarded the plane, ready to start a new adventure. 1 year later, Marinette was back. She was back home. Her plane had just touched ground in Paris. She had a wonderful time in America. She had learned so much about fashion and even business. There were brands in America who had reached out to her, and now she had 3 contracts to design clothing for them. She was making her dream come true. Not only that, but she had found someone. Yes, somehow going to a new country had helped Marinette realize that her and Adrien were not meant to be. She had been obsessed with him and practically stalked him. Now she laughed at how childish she was and marveled at how she'd grown. She'd started growing out her hair and dressed in a more American-styled clothing. However, on the plane, she went with a sweatshirt and leggings, scarf, and knee-high boots. Her Instagram had built up quite a following, and people in New York started knowing who she was. However, Marinette was ready to be a teenage girl again. Tiki had obviously stayed with Marinette and loved America too. It had been so long since she'd seen it. Marinette claimed her luggage and went to look for her parents and friends who had come to pick her up. "Marinette!" a voice shouted. Marinette didn't even have time to think when her very best friend Alia engulfed her in the biggest hug ever. "Alia!" she cried. The 2 girls were back together again. Her parents came up and gave her big hugs, telling her how much they missed her and how much she'd grown. "Dude, you're back," Nino said, giving her a hug. Marinette laughed. "Oh yes, I am," she said. She turned to see Adrien, who had a bright smile on his face. He looked just as handsome as ever, but now Marinette was more mature. It didn't faze her anymore. Besides, she had a boyfriend who had all of her heart. "It's so good to see you again," Marinette said, giving the blonde boy a hug. Alia was stunned. Marinette being normal around Adrien Agreste? Impossible! She brushed off the feeling, making a mental note to talk to Marinette about it later. But right now, they were going to have a party to celebrate Marinette's return. "School was terrible without you," Alia said as Marinette unpacked. Marinette laughed. "New York would have been better with you." Alia laughed watching Marinette unpack all the new clothes. Her best friend had grown and was way more confident. She was so happy. Suddenly remembering the hug, Alia decided she should ask about it. "So anyways, you seem so comfortable hugging Adrien. I thought you being normal around him was impossible." Marinette set down the shirt she was holding and went to sit by Alia to tell her the news. "I wanted to tell you this in person because it was so special," Marinette started. "Ooh, tell me now." Alia began bouncing on the bed, excited for what she would hear next. So I have a boyfriend now, from America. I met him during one of the projects and we hit it off right away. We've been together for 3 months and we've known each other for 9. Alia shrieked and knocked Marinette onto the ground with a giant hug. "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh!" Marinette laughed as she pushed her crazy BFF off her and got off. "So, you're over Adrien?" "Yeah. Like, somehow going to a new country helped me get over him, and also realize how much of a stalker I was. I'm a lot more mature now." Marinette giggled. Alia was overjoyed. She was so glad Marinette had found someone. Life was perfect again. "Now, help me unpack so I can actually see everyone." The girls laughed and finished unpacking in no time. "Nino, can you grab the last bag of ice and put it in the cooler?" Ms. Duping said. Nino nodded his head and went to work. Marinette, Alia, her parents, Nino, and Adrien were setting up for a coming back party for Marinette. At first, Alia wouldn't allow Marinette to help set up her own coming back party, but Marinette was far too persistent. 10 minutes later, the guests began to arrive. "Marinette, I'm so happy you're back," Alex said, giving Marinette a hug and handing her a gift. Oh my gosh, I love your outfit! Rose squealed. Thanks, guys. I've missed you so much, Marinette laughed. The outfit she had changed into wasn't too extra, but it was very different from her old style. It was very Americanized. A hot pink wrap shirt with some leggings paired with flats was a very cute and simple look. Throughout the first hour of the party, Marinette was catching up with her friends and what had happened in the year that she was gone. She learned that Kitty section had started booking gigs, and she was so proud of them. She hadn't seen Luca yet, but she was hoping he'd show up soon. She searched around the party when she noticed someone sitting alone at a table. She was confused and decided to walk over and talk to them. Are you doing okay? You look sad, Marinette said, sitting down. Adrien looked at Marinette and gave her a smile. Yeah, I'm good, he said. Marinette noticed the smile didn't reach his eyes. Are you sure? She asked again, concerned for him. Are you sad that I'm back? Marinette joked, nudging Adrien in the side. Adrien gave a small laugh. No, I'm really happy you're back. It's not the same without you. If Marinette still liked Adrien, then that sentence would have probably sent her into overdrive and faint. Internally, Marinette laughed at what her former self would have done. She was so childish, and now she wasn't. Thank God she had matured. Good. The plane ride home was kind of really long, and I don't want to get on a plane anytime soon, she smiled. If you need to talk about anything, you can talk to me, Marinette said in a quiet, comforting tone. Setting a hand on Adrien's shoulder, she sent in a small smile before standing up and walking away. Thanks, he called from behind her. Marinette turned, giving a small smile, and nodded her head. The young girl had spotted someone. That someone had blue-tipped hair. Luca, I'm so glad you're able to come, she said happily, giving Luca a hug. Yeah, I'd never miss your coming back party, he said, smiling at her. He handed her a gift. Thanks, Marinette said, and set the gift down at the gift table. She chatted with Luca for a bit before she went to talk to other people. Unlike the rest of her friends, minus Alia, Marinette and Luca were in contact. He was her late-night calls when she was stressed due to projects, or her advisor for when she needed to deal with her crush on the attractive model she worked with in New York. Their relationship had become more brother-sister, which both parties were okay with. 2 hours later, the party had come to a close, and everything was cleaned up. Marinette had changed into her pajamas and started working on some designs for the clothing companies. So, you're over Adrien? Tiki asked. Marinette set her pencil down onto her desk. Yeah, I still think he's really handsome and all, but it just doesn't affect me like it used to. That's a good thing. I was worried that when you saw him again, you'd revert back to how you used to act. Marinette laughed as Tiki zipped around her room. Me too, honestly, but clearly my crush is now in the past. I'm officially ready to start a wonderful friendship with him, Marinette said. 100%? Tiki asked. She needed to make sure that Marinette had her emotions straight. She had a boyfriend after all. It was important she wasn't feeling anything for anyone else. Marinette smiled and said without needing to think. She knew the answer. Yes, he's just a friend now.